What's going on, everybody? Spects back at it, alongside the bearded fellow, BrycethePrince.
Oh yeah, got that long beard going. No,
I have like a faux hawk and like a beard going on. So
I got the whole short hair.
I can do this. Is that better? Is that better or worse?
You can't grow. You jealous you can't grow my.
I could. I don't have. So I can. One, I don't have the patience, and two, I don't have the patience.
Oh, one is two, or two is one.
I can't say like. I mean, I can't say like, oh, the lady wouldn't like it. Like,
hey, I have a long beard, and my lady isn't the biggest fan.
I didn't hear what you said. It cut out.
Oh, sorry. I said I don't have a long beard, but my lady, or I do have a long beard, but my lady also isn't the biggest fan of it.
See, there you go. There you go.
It's also just it's a matter of just like
choose your
laziness.
Yeah. See, I keep it short and tight.
Yeah, Spects cares more. He does this for all of you out there.
I'm very shallow. So I'm in a t-shirt that I wore to work today.
And I'm dressed up. Apparently,
he's in a.
This is what I wore to work today. It's also one of my few clean shirts right now. So
there you go. So we're gonna start this on a little bit more of a serious note. I don't know how many of you are Angel fans, but both of us are. I'm involved in Angels Twitter a little bit more than Bryce is. Bryce is more so the Facebook crowd, which are two very different crowds in general. But something did make its rounds on Twitter. I believe Wednesday night. Tonight is Friday recording this, where another podcast said something that was very insensitive and racist towards a member of the Angels. And I just wanted to take the sort of awkward seconds here to come everything to a screeching halt, but just echo what our friends over at Locked on Halo said, where basically the shortness of this is there's no tolerance for that sort of stuff, regardless of whether it was a joke, a slip up, or anything. Like stuff like that, one, doesn't need to be said in any context, and two, with their following, they should know better. I'm just throwing this out there that there are plenty of other Angels podcasts like Locked on Halos. There's Halos in the Infield. There's us to a certain degree. There are other Angels content creators. There's Tyler Casanova, he's another one. There's Light Skin Chris, he's a good one. There's Little Man, there's Cougs. There's plenty of other content creators in this space that do the same thing, will give you the same sort of information to a certain degree that isn't that particular podcast. And as of recording this a few days later, as far as I was aware, they still haven't said anything on it. So as far as I know, that's the end of it. If it isn't, I hope they do say something, whether it's an apology or something. I don't think we're gonna get one. But I did just want to take a little bit of time to just throw that out there, that as a content creator myself, and Bryce, who knows this, both of us as YouTubers and Twitch streamers, it is our duty to make sure that anyone who comes in to our streams, our videos, listens to this podcast, is at least welcomed in at the very minimum. We might not be able to control everything that gets said into a hot microphone in a chat, in a comment, but we do our best to make sure that does happen. And that if anything does cross the line, whether it's on my channel, my streams, his channel, his streamer here, that we address it. It may not be publicly, it might be privately, but we do take pride in the fact that we are open to anyone and everyone. And the fact that somebody else in the community failed to do that isn't a good look for any of us. So we're just throwing it out there that, none of us are fully behind that.
Yeah. And I mean, I think the only thing I would add to that is just you and I grew up in a time when like television and things like there was always kind of a weird like crossing of, not necessarily crossing of certain lines, but like there was a lot of shows I think that you and I grew up with, like Scrubs and things, where like some of the jokes would kind of toe the line a little bit.
I think we had
circa 2008, this kind of things being said, that was always crossing that line. That line was, if you had said this in 2008, if you had said this in 2000, I don't think this has been acceptable since like the 50s. It's been out of our lingo for quite a while, and it's not something we should accept. So
yeah,
it's like
I think the only time
it's not okay.
I think the only, and I'm not trying to like be like, it's still used, but I think the only time I've ever heard like anything close to it being said is like World War II video games, where that's how it was like. That's what it was used.
50s, the 60s,
so I guess
is when
it had to have been.
Started. That's why I say like the 50s or 60s was when that started to like be like dropped out. So it's like, no, we don't say that anymore. We don't say. I think in the past 10, 15 years as a society, we've learned very distinct lines, and we shouldn't be crossing them. Yeah. Because if people don't feel safe coming to a content type thing that's meant for everybody, then why you gotta be aware of everybody's needs and feelings and whatnot. So
serious talk aside, back to the shenanigans that we bring.
I mean, I guess we can, now that we're on Angels podcast notes, we could reverse things a little bit and talk Angels first.
Oh, okay. Last night was rough.
Last night, as of this recording, it was rough.
I will say this as we go into Angels talk. I do want to end it with a little bit of fun that me and you can do, but I want to save that for the very end.
Okay.
It felt like 2022 all over again. I think what did it, and I think I told you this, it was because Tapera and Loop blew it, and Tapera after the game, I'm going to look up the actual wording. I'm going to look at the actual wording.
Didn't he say something to the effect of? Didn't he say something to the effect of like?
Okay, this is from Sam Blum on Twitter.
I read this. Yeah.
Pardon my French for this word. Aaron Loop said he was, quote, pitching scared and like a bitch. He called his performance probably the most embarrassing of my career. And as friend of the podcast, Tim Van Straten said, if you're pitching scared in game 1 against a 55-win Oakland A's team, how in the hell are you going to perform against Houston? Now, I don't know if it was just sort of like a yip situation. Because like, I think when he pitched in the WBC, I don't think he got rocked. I don't remember. Maybe that's a good thing that I don't remember, but I don't think it was anything like prevalent or anything, or he just didn't have it. I don't know. Like that happens too. I'm not looking into this like with a magnifying glass, like, oh, what'd you do? But it's weird that he's making those comments. I mean, maybe, I don't know. Maybe he's just saying it to himself because he's trying to be like, take responsibility for it, that he let himself, like he underperformed not only in his mind, but his team. I don't know. Or I guess he was clearly angry that, it's 162. You're going to have games like that.
Yeah. So no, yeah, it was a bummer for sure, especially because Shohei pitched, all but one inning. Shohei was just working his magic.
Yeah,
he had that one inning where he almost had some issues and got a little bit saved by Taylor Ward.
That was having
like a really nice throw. Do
it again. I want Renfroe to do it again.
And then Renfroe's no-look catch, like,
do it again,
he had
Renfroe.
some good plays coming to help him, but he also just pitched great. And so, Like, it was amazing that once he had guys on second and third, he was like, all right, I'm just gonna lock this down. Like, he has this weird thing where it's just like the pressure's on. He's like, all right, I can play. But no, and so yeah, it was the one issue that we knew going into the season was going to be the bullpen. Even then, like, I don't expect the bullpen to be constantly blowing games this year.
Mm-hmm.
I may be wrong about that, but like, I do feel like some of the pieces we added there should store some things up that were a problem last year. And I think honestly, like, it was funny. So like I was mentioning before we started recording, I was mentioning that as soon as like I woke up this morning and the Angels had lost, like there was several posts on the Angels groups I'm on Facebook and from one of my friends that I met through one of those Angels groups, and he posted something to the effect of here, I'll just pull it up because then I can quote myself too. So that way. But anyways, he said something to the effect of so predictable. No offense and bullpen blows it late. This organization will never change. And I was like, that's a bit, like, in my head, I'm like, that's a bit of an overreaction. But I couldn't just say that to him. So my comment was, yeah, I can't believe the White Sox are going to be better than the Astros this year. Who would have thought?
Because
the White Sox, the White Sox beat the Astros 7-2, and so it was just kind of like, my point was just like, look, I've had this discussion with him before, and I feel like nowadays I didn't probably fulfill this. I was probably more of a homer through about 2015 for the Angels, but I feel like over the years, due to their losing ways, they've made me into more of a pragmatic Angels fan. Where now I'm more like, well, let's see how, let's see what a larger sample size does for the Angels. So it's like, last year they tricked me by being good for a couple months,
fell apart,
and then it all just fell apart. But I don't know. I really think that they have some pieces to do some good stuff. But then after the loss, Rendon getting himself into trouble.
Yeah, I mean,
I think there's a discussion to be had for fan interactions, because I don't think Rendon just happened to hear somebody calling him.
There was somebody.
Words.
There was another fan. It was in Japanese that commented on a retweet that he was like, or he was in the area of this guy, and he said the guy was going at it all game, like he was dropping F-bombs and constantly calling him a bitch, like, all game. And if the way the Oakland Coliseum is because it was a football stadium first, there basically is a tunnel that you have to walk through. So unlike most baseball ballparks where it's just the doors like right behind you, they actually have to like walk through a tunnel. I think so my mom's been saying I haven't chosen her for the football game. Where home plate is about the 50-yard line, and there's just one tunnel. So I don't know if it looks like fans kind of have to go through there too. I don't know how the setup is, but it's not one. It's a dumpster. That's the unfortunate part. And should have Rendon did it? No, he shouldn't have. But we've seen this in the NBA and the NFL, where it's like athletes do not put up with this nonsense anymore. And the funniest part of the video, I was on lunch when this broke. I want to ask the question, how in the hell did Petros and Money get this video first? How the hell did that happen? I want to know that first and foremost. But apart from that, if you look in the video, because I come again, this isn't really matter to anything, but it's just part of the story. I come home for lunch every day because I work. I essentially work at home because my office is like I can throw a rock and hit it. But I noticed there was a guy with a badge and a radio, and then there were two guys behind him. One had it. One was after getting this confirmed. it was a fire marshal but by saying confirmed, I mean someone who knows law enforcement uniforms, was a fire marshal and somebody else who likes security who were directly behind Rendon and the Angels who didn't do anything. And generally when you're at these games and those radios is they have a separate channel. So if something does go down, these guys can radio to security or somebody else, like a cop who there should have been one there. So I don't really know why people who could have stepped in didn't step in and do their jobs. Like, again, if the guy's a fire marshal, that's not really his job. But if you kind of get the sense something's going to go down, and yeah, he was an older gentleman, but that's sort of why you're there. Like, maybe step over and be like, dude, game's over. You need to leave and not let this happen. It really kind of seems like there was a breakdown across the board that led to this, because one, the guys is either A, shouting at the team directly on top of them, which is a dumb move, or two, he was, like I said, some fans said he was doing it all game, so he's not surprised that this happened. But it sort of seems like there's one, way more to the story, but two, he's going to get a lengthy suspension, a fine, and probably, some people said a lawsuit. I don't think there's going to be a lawsuit because no judge is going to look at that video and be like, yeah, you were definitely antagonizing him. Like, you don't get anything because he didn't do anything.
Yeah, well, and ultimately there's no damage done. All he did was pull on his shirt.
Well, somebody was saying like, oh, you know, he might have hurt his neck. I'm like, if he bitch slapped him, then sure, but he missed, or he like didn't make contact with him on purpose. I don't know. It's not a good. It's definitely not a good look. I don't think it's as bad as a look as like as members of the media were making it out to be, because there was this really. This is probably the first time I disagree with Sam on something, because maybe it's because I remember when the NBA was having this problem where it was like, I think Kyrie had a water bottle thrown at him. Westbrook had popcorn thrown at him. Like, there was like this weird string of like fans just doing things to NBA players. And I'm like, they're not putting up with this. And there was never this weird dichotomy of like, when the players did sort of like say like, that's crossing the line. Like, there was no NBA beat writer being like, oh God, he threw a thing at a guy. Like, he never got that. It was like the fan stepped out of line. I don't know why for this particular video, it sort of seems like, you know, he should have just kept walking. We don't know what's going on in that video. No one's defending the action, but there is a line. And if that line does get crossed, this is what's going to happen, is you're going to get more and more players who are willing to pay the fine. Because there is going to be a time, and I think the NBA's had it, where someone's going to say something that's definitely more than bitch or a hard F word. You're going to get guys someone's going to say something, especially in this hot climate age where you saw with the Rendon video, there was a homeboy was going to record it and put it on TikTok, where someone's going to say something that's worse than that. And they're going to get the reaction. The fan's going to get in trouble, or the player's going to get in trouble, and the fan could, unless somebody else has another angle where the fan, it's just going to be like, oh, well, the player shouldn't have reacted that way. I actually think we had a situation like that, like not too long ago, but we're in this weird time where fans, I think, have the right to say things to players when they don't, and are ultimately shocked when said player throws something back at him. Yeah. Especially after losses like that, where it's like, none of these guys are going to put up with it.
Well, yeah, and I think it's really it's a twofold thing. It's like, obviously Rendon, look, you're a professional athlete, you're getting paid millions of dollars. There is a certain behavior expected of you. And so, like, act to that contract But at the same time, if you're a fan, you shouldn't be feeling like you can just say whatever the heck you want.
Yeah, you just because you're a fan, I think there's
I think too many fans have this mentality of like, I can say whatever I want to get them to play off their game. That's my job as a fan. It's
but like, it's one of those bits where I said,
no, you don't. You have to treat every human with dignity and respect.
So
that's just how it is.
So update on this. This was 5 hours ago. The Oakland PD is investigating a battery that occurred on March 30th, 2023, following the events of blah 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 Angels at the stadium. No victim has contacted Oakland PD. However, surveillance video of the incident has surfaced. As a result, Oakland PD created an incident report, made in support, and is actively investigating. I don't know what the hell that means. I don't think it necessarily means anything. I don't think
it's just Oakland PD trying to make good with Oakland A's fans.
I don't think they're trying to make it Oakland A's fans. I think it's more. I think it's more or less. How do I put this? How do I say this? I think they're required to at least do the 2 cents.
Yeah.
Because is anything going to come of it? No. Is it bad? It's not battery. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. That's not battery. You're trying to make a mountain out of a molehill.
That's a confrontation. That's not. He didn't punch the.
He didn't
guy.
punch him. He didn't make contact with him.
Swung at him.
He swung at him, but he didn't hit him.
If
he hit him, you have a different story. This isn't Devontae Adams like pushing a guy. I mean, he's gonna get suspended and pay a fine more than likely. I'm sure. Here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna call this right now. He's gonna get. He'll get. Anything. He'll get a 7-game suspension, pay some sort of fine. He'll appeal it. It'll get knocked down to 3 games, and he'll serve 3 games. That's my guess. Because ultimately, what's going to happen is you're going to get some statement saying we don't condone what he did, but it'll get reduced down because he's going to say, well, I can't be talked to like that. The fans have no right to talk to me like that.
Oh yeah, and the MLB doesn't want to deal with that.
No, they don't want it. No, none of them want to deal with it. They had, I mean, heck, having Tommy Pham slapping Jock Peterson was more than they wanted to handle.
Yeah. No, yeah. The league doesn't want to handle anything that really needs to handle. I honestly look again. It's both ends. It's Rendon needs to behave in a certain way, but it's also we need to start telling fans like we're fans. We're not coming out of this as like some organization. We're fans too. We're not saying this just because like if an Angels fan did this, if I will condemn Rendon as an Angels fan.
No, but I will also condemn that A's fan. I don't think any of us are standing up for him.
Yeah.
I'll say this. I get it.
I will also not condone I will also condemn what the A's fan did. Even if he was an Angels fan, even if the roles were reversed, I would be sitting here saying, look, that Angels fan should not have acted that way.
Yeah.
And look, that player should also not have acted that way. It's dumb.
It's dumb. The league will handle it. Like I said, he'll probably get 7 games or something, but it'll get reduced down to like 4 or 3. Because at the end of the day, it'll come down to, because the only argument is like, hey, we're being antagonized and they're way too close. Because if you're that, because like I said, if you look at that video, that's way too goddamn close.
Yeah.
Like even there's a netting there, like you don't have that. If
fan's not careful, they're going to be pushed even further away
that's what
from
I'm
being
saying.
able to see the players.
Because it's like even there at that stadium, if that's how visitors have to go, like if it's that close, because I don't think there's like a full tunnel like netting, like something worse could happen than that.
Yeah,
because like it's Oakland, it's a dump.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what happens the next coming days. I don't think you're going to get anything till like Monday or Tuesday. So whatever. Timing.
Anywho. But yeah, no, hopefully the Angels, by the time this comes around, the Angels, hopefully maybe they've won 2 out of 3 in the series. And
hey, bright side is if Rendon gets suspended for a minute, we at least got the depth to cover it. So
No, we could have Urshela play third, and
Renhefo
can play
goes to short
second, and
we go back.
Short,
you go back to like Fletcher at short, Renhefo at second. Like it's not the worst in the world.
Yeah, that kind of deal. And we can actually handle stuff like this.
Yeah.
Like Perry Manasian did a good job this offseason setting up the roster.
Shocking.
But we'll see. We'll see how that the weekend goes, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
delightful.
So we're down to the final four.
I know we're at this point. I'm not lying. I really want an all Miami championship game with the FAU and Miami. That's kind of what I'm rooting for. I mean, I don't get me wrong. If San Diego State gets in, I'll be happy. But I won't lie. I really want the all Miami, all Florida.
The line has it as the Las Vegas line has it as it'll end up being SCSU versus UConn.
I see.
Anything can happen. It's March Madness for a reason.
You want to know something? And maybe it's because like I hear a lot of like Miami centric sports, but I'll say this for Miami. That Miami team is different. And I don't like.
I mean, the way they came back against Texas, that was crazy.
Because here's the funny bit with Miami. Is UConn's won games because they blow out their opponents. I think Miami could stop them. I honestly think Miami will just dig its heels in and just stop them because I mean, look, like record wise, they're basically the same record wise. The only difference is UConn's got a win margin of I think plus 20 or something in this tournament, but they haven't played against a team like Miami, where they'll just hang around and they're going to put the pressure on you. Like, because the whole thing is, at least in my opinion, UConn shooting's going to will fizzle out.
Yeah.
I don't know if Miami will necessarily. But, I mean, looking at the other game for a second, FAU versus SDU. I mean,
SDSU?
SDSU. I would love it if San Diego State got in. Don't get me wrong, but like I said, I'm really, really wanting it, even though like the show I listen to, having Miami win would be insufferable.
Yeah.
But I would love it. But that's what I want. I don't necessarily, as long as the games are good like they have been, I don't care. I mean, good because the best part is if you are just a order of chaos, the highest seed you have is a 4. You have a 4, 2 5s, and a 9 in the last round.
Went into this tournament thinking we're going to make the final 4 and we're going to be the highest ranked seed in the final 4. No. There's no way they thought that.
But also too, this is the one year where every person, every expert who said like, oh, this team will win has been eliminated, and UConn's the team were like, oh, it's UConn. So it's like, ooh, UConn's probably going to get got.
Yeah,
because like I said, as much as like everyone would hate a Miami FAU final on Monday, I think I would love it. I think it'd be great because that's a regional rivalry.
9 versus 4,
9-4. I mean, 5-4, 5-5, 9-5. Yeah, we're talking.
Yeah, no, it could be fun. I mean, don't get me wrong. I also wouldn't mind seeing San Diego State, Miami, or San Diego State, UConn.
I don't think I don't think there's a matchup I would dislike. To be honest with you,
none of these teams are teams that I'm like, oh, I don't want them to win. It's more like, oh, okay.
Thank you, NIL, right?
It was funny when we went into that Texas Miami game. If in my family bracket. Speaking of which, we need to check on what your score is.
I die. It's over. Game over for me. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, I know, but we need to. That's what I'm saying. We need to compare the score of our brackets. So you need to pull up that bracket so we can compare the.
Okay.
But so my points is in my family's bracket. In my in-laws bracket, the difference of Texas winning was me getting 4th place in the bracket and me getting 5th place in the bracket, because my sister-in-law had Texas going to the final 4, and so it was like the difference there was like huge, and then it was also the difference between my brother-in-law winning and my brother-in-law tying with my father-in-law. So it was kind of a funny little, like, it still mattered to me up to that point.
I don't know if I can even pull it up here.
I ended up, actually, that bracket ended up just slightly better for me than the one in my in-laws bracket. I ended up with 420 points. You're not going to be able to pull it up, Specs? Do I win by default?
I have to pull it up on my desktop, so I'm gonna have to I have to go back into
cover me for a second.
Yeah,
that's okay. It's okay. I'll still be
in our DMs. I can put you there.
Kind of, except I dropped down.
That's fine. Okay, there we go. You can see all of our
wonderful parts of our conversation.
You had 420, right? You win.
What did you have?
410. So
oh, what a close one.
Oh wow. I don't know the difference.
I win all the pick'ems.
I'm trying to think. Where did what was the game we had different?
Well, who was your final 4? I had Alabama, Purdue, Xavier, and Gonzaga, so none of them.
I had Alabama, Arizona, Xavier, and Houston.
And then let's see. And then Elite 8. I had Alabama, Arizona, Purdue, USC, Houston, Xavier, St. Mary's, and Gonzaga. Did you have any Elite 8s?
Sorry. So my Elite 8 was... Wait, hold on.
I was gonna say, we just gotta figure out where I went right and you went wrong.
So my Elite 8 was Alabama, San Diego State, Creighton, Arizona, Xavier.
I don't think you could have Alabama and San Diego State in your Elite 8. You're looking at your Sweet 16, I think.
No, I read you the wrong thing. So my Final Four was San Diego. Wait, my Final Four is Alabama.
San Diego State had to go through Alabama.
So here, So my Final Four was Alabama, Arizona. Wait, sorry. I hate this thing so much. Who did I have? Because I had Arizona. Wait, what was my? This thing's all messed up. Oh, sorry. My Final Four. This is okay. Sorry. This is I hate ESPN so much. So my Final Four was Arizona, Marquette, Xavier, UCLA.
Arizona, Marquette, Xavier, USA.
There you go. That's what it was. I don't know when Marquette went down.
Okay, but what was your? Oh, let's trail back real quick. Sweet 16. I had Alabama, San Diego State, Baylor, Arizona. Neither of those made it. Purdue, Duke. Neither of those made it. Kansas State, which did make it, in USC. Houston and Indiana. Xavier, Texas.
This ESPN's bracket's god awful. Can we just
Illinois, St. Mary's, Gonzaga, and UCLA.
So
I had a pretty good Sweet 16. That's probably almost where we went off.
So if I can read this nonsensical map correctly, I had Alabama, San Diego State, Houston, Miami, Creighton, Arizona, Xavier, Texas, Purdue, Duke.
Yeah, I think Kansas State wound up being the difference.
Kansas St. Mary's, Gonzaga, UCLA, and then Kansas State, Marquette.
So looks like me getting certain people all the way there.
So well, here's a court. So in terms of, I guess, the breakdown in the corner here, this might be a little easier. It all went to shit for me in the Sweet 16 because I went 230 of 320 in the first round. 180 of 320. How'd you do in
the round of 32?
180 of 18. I got 180, and then goose egg the rest of the way.
You didn't get any points in the Sweet 16?
I got 0 in the Sweet 16. None.
Okay, the Sweet 16 was where I won it then. Because I had 220 out of 320 in the round of 64. 160 out of 320. You were beating me through the first 2 rounds.
See, the problem is,
then the Sweet 16, I went 40 out of 320, so it allowed me to. Because
you know what the problem is, and I do this every year, is as the tournament goes on, I just assume cream rises to the top because 9 times out of 10 it usually does. At some point, like the nonsense kind of just fizzles away. It didn't this year, so it was like so it's one of those dumb. So it's one of those dumb things where if I probably hit like historical matchups, I probably would have done somewhat decent.
Yeah,
but oh well.
But yeah, and then so continuing on in basketball, so we'll see how the Final Four goes this weekend, and then I think next week we can talk about we'll be able to talk about the final game. So I think so. Hey, Lakers are actually playing pretty well. They're above 500 for the first time this season,
and they're playing tonight, right?
They played tonight. That was what I was saying. They got above 500. They won against Minnesota.
Oh, is that why
they might be able to make the playoffs without even having to do the play-in?
And then
that's how crazy this is. They could be like the 4th place team by the end of the season.
It is Friday.
That'd be really wild if that happened.
The Suns are winning, which doesn't really help us. We need Denver to come back. What are the standings? Because I looked when I was earlier today, and then I think because they won, they're like now the 5th seed or something. Is that it?
Right now, based on everything, the Lakers are a game and a half outside of 6th behind Golden State.
Oh, is that what it is? Because
and the Clippers, and then they're 2.5 out of Phoenix.
Yeah. So I don't know what what's their remaining schedule. Can I just look at their remaining schedule is? So they play the Rockets on Sunday, which dubski. Jazz should be a dubski. Clippers, coin toss.
That's a toss up.
Toss. Suns, I guess another coin toss, and then the Jazz, which I think's a win. So 1, 2, 3, at least 3 wins.
They could win out.
The only thing I question is this Clipper game, because there's always that really weird off chance that like no one plays for the Clippers.
Yeah. But no, it should be an interesting, like, if you told me when the Lakers were like at the bottom of the barrel and everybody was going, the Lakers are going to have to give the top pick to the Pelicans and the Pelicans are going to be amazing. And now the Pelicans are like, crap. The Lakers got just good enough at the end of the year to make that pick not really all that worth it.
Yeah. So, I mean, like 2 against the Jazz is huge. Like I said, I think the other game, the Clippers and the Suns, I don't even know what the Suns, I think they can beat the Suns, to be honest with you. They did already. So.
Yeah. Although this will be, I think, a Durant Suns. So.
I don't think that matters a whole heck of a lot, to be completely honest with you.
Depends on the game, I guess. Because depends if they played like they played against the Bulls or if they played like they played against the Bulls.
I think that Bulls game was.
You like how I did that? It depends if they played like how they played against the Bulls or if they played like how they played against the Bulls.
You know what's weird? I chuckle at that because I know like Pat Bev's now.
Did you like LeBron's when Pat Beverly when he did the pump fakes?
Oh yeah.
LeBron went, nope. nope,
Yeah.
nope.
Yeah, that was good. You know what's funny is like I think I was pretty right about Pat Beth. Like, you love him when he's on your team, but hate it when he's on everyone else's team. Like his shenanigans. I'm like, what are you doing, dude?
The funny thing is it felt like there wasn't really any bad blood between like him and his former teammate.
I don't think there was. I don't think there was either. I think it's just sort of him just like poking fun at it, where he was like, "Oh, you're too short," and then Austin Rivas is sort of like, you're too small," and him doing it back. I'm like, I think it's more of like the friendly jousting. It's not like it was where he was like in like the pride, like when he was with the Clippers, where he was just like annoying little Matt.
Yeah. And Reeves, he's turning
good.
into something special. Like,
I can't wait for him to get traded.
He might be better than Caruso was.
I can't wait for him to get traded.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be a restricted free agent this offseason, and we'll see if the Lakers match that. Maybe do a sign and trade, something in that realm.
Who knows? They play the Rockets Sunday. I assume this is a dubski.
I mean, you'd hope so, but you never know with the Lakers.
Yeah, I guess. I think they're going to be at least going into the playoffs like decently. His whole thing is like, there's a outside shot. They get the 4 or 5 seed.
Yeah. I mean, there's a shot. Like I said, it'd be really nice for them to get into the playoffs and just be in the playoffs.
Because the funny part is because they play the Clippers, and if they come off a win, they could go into that Clipper game argumentatively with either with the same record, or the Lakers could be ahead of them. This week, based on who they play, they might go from 7 to 4.
Yeah. If they win out, they could literally just be like, "Hey, we're one of the best teams in the West," and it's like, wait, what? No, what happens? What?
Wouldn't they get home court too?
If
they got the 4 seed, right?
Seed 1 through 4, yeah.
If they got to that 4 seed,
that'd be wild for them to get to the 4 seed. Though. They'd
possible.
have to win and have some really big
losses.
Who
do the Clippers? Well, like let's just now that I'm looking, let's just look who the Clippers play. So the Clippers' final 4 games are the Pelicans, Lakers, Blazers, Suns. That's not exactly easy. The Pelicans have done well. Lakers, we know. I mean, the Blazers aren't. I don't think the Blazers are anything special, but you know.
I mean, they shut down Damian Lillard, so that would be probably.
Yeah, Damian Lillard, and then they play the Suns for their last game. The Suns' final handful of 4 games are, again, talking about kind of rough: Spurs, Nuggets, Suns, Clippers. As for the Warriors, they put again, 3 games for the Warriors are kind of tough here. Nuggets, Thunder, Kings, and Blazers. So that's 3 out of 4 that are kind of difficult. Lakers have the easiest schedule out of probably the 3 out of the teams ahead of them. They arguably have the easiest schedule.
Sure. Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not saying like they're gonna jump that far, but if I had to be willing to guess, the Kings could lose. The Warriors could lose 3 out of the next 4, and so could the Clippers.
It would be an interesting finish. I mean, if the Lakers finished, if we were talking in what, next week or the week after, and we were like, the Lakers are the 4 seed, what the heck? It'd be wow.
And
I'd give you full permission to be like, you didn't believe.
And just for content purposes, the Pelicans play the Clippers, Kings, Grizzlies, Knicks, and Timberwolves, so they might actually have the roughest go about at the moment.
Yeah.
For what it's worth. Take that for what it's worth. E3's dead. Yeah. I mean, what?
Oh yeah. Let's finish this with the video game.
So E3 is fully gone. They flat out canceled it. So I mean, this wasn't overly shocking, to be completely honest. Like I said, to be completely honest with you, it wasn't going to be fully shocked because everyone basically pulled out. But I think I said on Twitter, like, I get it, but it really hurts indie developers, I think. because now they don't have a chance to like really get out in front of anyone. But who knows?
Yeah. But no, yeah.
But they also don't need him either, so.
Everybody's going, in that direction now.
You don't need him.
No, yeah, I mean, you don't need
the big, because the whole thing is it doesn't change anything. And and as dumb as it sounds, I think, if I recall, they canceled E3 in 2020 because of COVID. They canceled in 2020 because of COVID. It was back last year at a very minimal thing, and this year they just flat out said no again. So 3 of the last 4 years, it was gone. Like, they might as well just be like, we're not putting it on anymore. And it's unfortunate.
Dead.
And it's just unfortunate because COVID ultimately killed it. But the whole thing is too, and I don't mean this in a wrong way, but unfortunately, COVIDs right now are just COVID. Wow. Did I say COVID?
You said COVIDs.
Wow. Cons are just breeding grounds for COVID, unfortunately. I've seen it basically time and time again. Every con that been going on, whether it be YouTube con, Twitch con, any of them, it's just people get COVID. So maybe it's for the best. I don't
think there's as much worry about that anymore now that we're getting towards endemic status. But
no, I don't think there's necessarily worry about it. I would agree with you that I think at this point it's just kind of like,
it's just a financial thing. It's why would we spend all this money to put on this big thing that not a lot of people are going to go to?
Yeah, I'm sure that's part of it.
Like, there's VidCon is coming back this year, like in a huge way, and it's like,
didn't VidCon
people are going to go to that?
Back last
people are
year.
Going to go to that, but well, no, I know, but like it's like
really,
yeah,
I know.
Like a lot of content creators are going, "Hey, I'm going to VidCon this year." Where last year they were a little more hesitant. Still,
yeah,
we were still at the end of the Omicron.
I mean,
surge
yeah, I think I said this last year. If TwitchCon wasn't in San Diego, I might have considered going.
Yeah,
but like I'm an island, and I'm more so an island now more than I was back then than I was last year. So it's not really prime for me to go to these things. I would have gone to Fan Fest if the Angels had it, but I mean, like, I'm not like,
they just don't do Fan Fest anymore.
Yeah, thanks, Artie. They did it one year. I went to the last one they did. They did.
It would be fun. But Artie doesn't care about the fans.
It was fun. We literally got our tickets the night prior, and then we got to see the Angels play the Padres. It was fun.
Well, then the other big gaming news. Maybe we'll finish on the big gaming news of Resident Evil 4.
Dude, RE4 has been blown out of the water. I love it. What?
But before we talk about that, I was just going to say Square. We were talking about some of the gaming news we could talk about. Square Enix says they want to bring more of their games to PC. And Spects' reaction is,
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to just say exactly what I said when you told me this in the pod when we were just talking, and I was getting stuff ready for my upload on Saturday. Square Enix fans are weird to me because they're usually all like, whether it's I like Final Fantasy to a certain degree, Final Fantasy or Kingdom Hearts. So hankering back to Kingdom Hearts when they announced Kingdom Hearts 5, I don't know what number they're on. HD DMI 30.1 episode 4 or whatever. I made the comment how that game's going to be great in 2030. That's just my response to this. It's going to be great in 2040 when their games are on PC. Because every time Square Enix...
They've made more of an effort to get their games on PC.
It's all fine and dandy. It's still Square Enix. I believe anything Square Enix says when they actually do it. That's just me. Because
they're currently hiring for... It says with the article says their job listings for Square Enix is that they're trying to make it like a focus. So they're trying to hire people.
You know what I want? You know what I want Square Enix to do instead of hiring more people? You know what I want Square Enix to do? Release the next
Publish
episode.
Their games.
That and can we get more Final Fantasy 7, please?
Yeah.
Is that too much to ask for?
Big fan of that.
Is that too much to ask for?
It came out.
Is that, like, honestly, finish one thing before you start saying you're going to put it on more? That's what I think you need to do.
That may even be the thing. Like if part 2 comes out and they're like, yeah, this is going to be on the PlayStation 5.
When did part 1 come out?
I may just be like, okay, I'm going to get part. I'm going to get PS5 for part 2. But
when did part 1? Hold on. When did part 1 come out?
Final Fantasy 7 remake. Question.
I got it for
2020.
Came out 3 years ago.
April of 2020.
It came out 3. We're going on 3 years ago. Square Enix, finish your crap before you start promising more crap. Honestly.
Yeah, I get that.
Finish your nonsense before you start making. April 10th. We are closing on 3 years. Hey, Square Enix, stop writing checks your ass can't cash.
To be fair, they did release the Windows edition of that at the end of 2021.
Woo.
Which was a year and a half, a little over a year and a half later, almost 2 years later.
Woo.
So they probably in between were working on porting it from the PlayStation 4 to the Windows, and they were porting it over the PlayStation 5.
I'm going to tell you that.
Knowing Sony,
I'm going to tell you this.
Had to actually work on a port.
I'm going to tell you this.
Make it
I'm going to say this, and you're going to tell me I'm being mean when I say this. I don't give a shit. Finish your stuff. The only thing we got is we got the Yuffie DLC. Yippee frickin' do.
What, you're talking about Intergrade?
We got Intergrade, which I think
the Intergrade DLC was kind of fun.
I don't get.
I know it's just Yuffie, but
I hate them. Square Enix has always been like a pain in my side.
And then they make a great game, and you're like,
you want to know a dirty secret?
A little longer.
You want to know a dirty little secret? The only game I played by Square Enix is Final Fantasy. I don't like it. I'm not a Kingdom Hearts fan.
I'm more Final Fantasy exclusively too. I've never done Kingdom Hearts. I'm sure I'd like it okay enough. But that's how Drew Gooden started his content creation. Did you know that?
Why are you bringing up Drew Gooden?
Because we're talking Final Fantasy.
So you're like, you know who plays Final Fantasy? Drew Gooden.
No, he didn't play Final Fantasy. He played Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, and whatever.
Dub videos back in the day, and then he did a video on his channel.
Oh my god!
It was just a odd little.
You know who Drew Gooden's friends with? Eddie Burback. You know what Eddie Burback did? He went to every Rainforest Cafe with Ted Nivison.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know useless things too.
Whatever. You don't like my useless factoids, and
I shared a useless factoid.
Me
oh my god. Oh my god. You know what? I do too much of this stuff. I had a rough week, and you're just like, oh, you know what? I'm hurt. I modded your channel tonight, you butthole.
You hurt my feelings.
Good.
Oh boy. But no, yeah, and then last thing we wanted to talk about was Resident Evil 4.
Great. Everybody loves it. And I don't get to play it for another 2 weeks because I want to play it on my I want to play it on a PS5. Which I don't think is a bad thing.
Is it on PC?
Yeah, it's on PC.
You should just play it on the PC. It'll be easier to stream that way anyways.
Look here, smart guy. I don't tell you how to live your life, do I?
You're just trying to have a reason to actually play your PS5.
No, I have a reason. It's called MLB The Show. It's fine. That reason's there. We don't need to pretend that it's not there.
Did you get MLB The Show for both the PlayStation 5 and
I got the digital deluxe, so it comes with the code. So if I upgrade, I just carry over my progress.
Oh, that's cool. Like I said last week, what was it last week, or was it during a stream we were talking about? I need to start playing the show on Xbox so that way you and I can do content together.
You should. It's free on Game Pass. But I think
I'll
wait, what was
look
it?
into it.
What was it? But there's a bunch of free.
At the very least,
See, okay, this is what it was. So, like, I'm probably gonna get a PS5 at some point this month. Here are the free games for PlayStation this month, and why I'm like, we could spice up the variety a little bit because Sackboy's Big Adventure is on there, and it's both for PS5 and PS4. Who doesn't love Sackboy? I have so many free games.
You're not doing a very good job of selling the PlayStation to me. To be fair, I don't think you'd be able to do a good job of selling the Xbox.
I am a salesman, so all right. Well, subscribe to Specs Gaming Television. I don't stream as much anymore, but
he'll be on Twitch soon. Hopefully.
I don't know.
You're like this break has actually been kind of nice.
Well, I know it's funny.
What?
The more
is this the note we want to end on?
No, I don't mean to like bookend it with serious stuff. But like I don't know. I think what's weird is I look at like everything. I don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with like content and stuff.
You just gotta start streaming Mario Maker 2 and make yourself.
That's clearly what it is. I just need to be just a straight up Mario Maker streamer. I don't know.
Apparently, that's what I need to be doing because like all my Mario Maker streams perform really well. My Terraria streams, they do all right.
Valheim does pretty well.
Are kind of up and down. But like Mario Maker's like the thing that's like currently pushing me towards affiliate.
I don't know. I think ultimately after kind of what I had to do, which ultimately started this hiatus, I don't know. I'm in a weird spot. I don't mean to bring like the mood down or anything. I don't have time. One, I flat out don't have as much time as I thought I did, especially like doing Angels 162. Like that's 30 minutes right there. Like I can keep those episodes short, but like I don't know.
Well, you got viewers who love you.
No, I don't maybe
just scale back the amount of streams so you can handle the schedule better.
Maybe I'm just bad. Like I'm just bad at it, but I don't. Maybe I'll put this out on Twitter. I don't when I no, I'm trying to think of the right phrasing for this. With what I do, with what I do is and what I want to do. Ultimately, at this point it's two parallel highways. It's the IRL content that I make that is strictly me. Not Specs, but me, you know? And then there's the Specs content. And right now they're just running parallel to each other. And the unfortunate part is like, more than likely, if everything goes well, the content that I make as me will overtake it. That's the goal, ultimately, at some point. But the problem is, I really enjoy like derailing the Specs stuff a lot, apparently. And all that. And mind you, there's over 200 of you who follow me in the last years. I don't take any of you guys for granted. I don't say it enough. I really am thankful for anyone who's watched me, who watches this good nonsense. Because at the end of the day, I'm just a fat dude in his bedroom making content for the last 2 years. And I don't want it to get lost in the shuffle that I don't appreciate you. I do. I really do. I'm very bad at showing it. And a lot of times, like, things get out of whack, which is unfortunate that I can't make, I can't do more to fill that gap. I try to do in the best way possible where it might not be live content, it's on-demand content, but there's still content. And right now, because I had to essentially end something and it was a rough fallout.
Yeah,
which
I think
happens.
Ultimately, maybe some distance from streaming might do some good.
like I said,
maybe not pulling away altogether.
I'm not doing anything rash. I'm not being like, I'm not gonna like be like, I'm never coming back. Or anything.
You've already done that a few times.
I'm not. In this instance, which is different from the other ones, is I'm not overstressed. I'm not. I don't feel like I'm up against a wall mentally. I don't feel like I have like immense pressure on me because I'm the only one who can handle a job or do a job. That isn't what's going on. Where I'm at right now, my work right now is a 180 from what I was doing a year ago. By far. I'm in a spot where it's more relaxed. It's a very different atmosphere. What I do on a daily basis isn't stressful. It's rather boring, to be honest with you, but it's fine because it's steady and I can do what I want to do. Now, ultimately, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, I said from the beginning of the year, I don't mean to hijack this. I really don't. I said at the end of the year, I want to prioritize quality over quantity. And I think I'm somewhat succeeding at some point, sure. Which is why you're seeing this slight shift from, there's not necessarily going to be a lot of live content per se, but there's still content. It's just, yeah. I can only do, dollars soon once I'm streaming again, because I am going to want to stream Resident Evil 4. That's going to happen. I still want to make content on MLB The Show. I'm going to play it when this podcast's over, which I want to wrap up because I got to finish grinding. But like, there's stuff I want to do. Bryce knows this. Bryce deals with my bullshit more than anyone at this point. He understands everything. He gets it. And I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for him. I'm thankful for Sabbath. I really am thankful for the people around me. I like I said, I don't say it enough. That I do. Does it suck that I'm in these weird predicaments that I just do to myself? Yes, ultimately, what happened had to happen. Yes, unfortunately it did. It's just a lot of when things end up happening. This is the nature of being an adult, unfortunately, that when things don't always end correctly, things don't always end perfectly, things don't always end perfectly and cleanly. They end with hurt. Yeah. They end with hurt feelings, bad things being said, emotions taking control. And you have we just live in the fallout. But all I can tell you is when I do come back, I'm going to try to just be putting out the content that I want to make, not the content that a community pigeonholes me into, not one that gives me the most views, one that I want to play, stuff that I want to play.
Sure.
That's ultimately what I do. And I said at the beginning of the year, and I say it now, that's the goal. And if I can, ultimately at the end of the day, if I can basically make content I'm happy with and I want to play, because as dumb as it sounds, seeing Bryce succeed at games he enjoys makes me want to play the games I enjoy, and I enjoy MLB The Show a hell of a lot. And I'll keep pushing, even though I'm going to get buried in that stupid category every time, because it's what I enjoy. And I literally work in writing for it. So it's not going anywhere. I'm making 162 series on the dang thing. For crying out loud. Yeah. Like, it's not going anywhere. I I delve into variety for a reason, and I want to stay in variety, but it's going to be a lot of one thing, at least somewhere. That's what it's going to be. I didn't mean to like ramble. I'm sorry. I don't even know what started that.
You're good. You're good. So do we want to end on that now?
Oh, I don't know.
No, but and I guess for me, I guess we never did talk about like where I'm at. I'm sorry, 9 away from.
Yeah, he's 9 away
from affiliate.
He'll probably hit it fat. He hit it a lot sooner than I did, but that's.
I also had you to help guide me along on.
I didn't do anything. I don't know why. Like I'm not some guru or anything. I really.
No, but you did help me like with certain setups of things and then giving me like like Nightbot and small things like that. And
we gotta fix that stupid Nightbot. We gotta fix Nightbot.
It was at least behaving tonight.
No,
then it did threaten to mute.
No, like
desk,
I said,
desk, no.
It's like I said, because it did it to me too. I don't know why its default is like you can't emote spam. Okay, which is funny because I saw this on so Twitch has this very weird thing of like they went on this weird ban where they banned like a lot of like like loser emotes. And I think it was a former like community director was like, we ban these because we don't. I don't take this the wrong when I say this. I love the phrasing when anyone who says something's bad, they use the phrase, think about if a minority had to deal with this. And I don't know why they automatically jump to that. Like it makes their argument stronger. I don't get it, but whatever. And they're like, think about it. Like think about if they had every bad word banned. Like it was a clean stream and they get rated and all they see are like constant like loser emotes, and I'm like, okay, I would laugh. I think that'd be funny. Like I'm not those people, but I saw that, I'm like, that's a very weird thing considering one of the most popular games on the platform has literally a dance, like I think literally titled "Take the L" in Fortnite.
Yeah.
So I don't get it, but all right, whatever. I don't know. I just saw that and I'm like, I don't understand.
I get them trying to like clean up toxic environments.
I get the
that's
thing.
Probably not the best way to go about it.
I get it. Like, no, I get it. Like, there are some emotes where it's like, yeah, that crosses the line. But I think for like, I'm like, really, this is the example we're making of.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Like, I don't know. Like, if they want to say like, hey, or if they would have been like, hey, are we a little strict on certain emotes? Yeah, but here's the reason why. It's just the oddly specific example that always gets me. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just them trying to do the right thing, but doing it in the wrong way.
No, it it's like, I get the intention behind it. Like they said, like, hey, it's strictly because we don't want trolls to, we don't want hate in our chats. We want Twitch to be safe, and we kind of overstepped it. Like, that's all they had to say. Sorry. Yeah. I didn't mean to derail you. What were you saying?
No, that's all I was gonna say. It's just like they went about things the wrong.
No, I was saying
they're trying to do the right thing. They're trying to do the right things, but in the wrong manner, and that's just kind of how it goes.
But I mean, you got to think about emotes and stuff.
I know. I don't. This is like I've been telling you. I've been keeping up. I think you've seen it from. I mean, from your perspective, I feel like I have had a pretty level head about my streaming career, and like I told you, like I'd be happy to make affiliate in the first year.
Mm.
And
how long have you been streaming?
It's like you pushed me to do Mario Maker because you knew that'd be something I'd enjoy, and you knew that community is a little bit more active on Twitch. And it's a game I really love, so it's like as soon as I started playing it, it's like I'm having a fun time. And I'm getting to
the stupid truth to it all, honestly, is if you play something you enjoy and you enjoy it, you'll be, that's really hurdle number one. The problem is like Twitch's bell curve so incredibly pulled that hilariously, I have the stream pulled up on my other monitor and there's 35 30. Well, they round up, so I can just say it. There's about 3,500, almost 3,600 people in this stream right now. Yeah. Like that's an outlier. If I scroll down here to like recommended channels, like I got a 9, there's an 8, there's a 61, 65, like 10 I saw. Like they're all over the place. But it's like the majority of streamers, really, as dumb as it sounds, I think the actual average of like streamers who have like, I think 3, like even 5 viewers in a stream is like the top percent, which is wild because like I was ranked. I don't know if I still am. Like I'm technically a ranked streamer. I don't consider myself anything spectacular. I don't know how much a week off hurts it, but I was a ranked streamer. I'm for all intents and purposes, I am a ranked streamer. I don't feel like one, but I'm in the top echelon of streamers, hilariously. Like I haven't streamed in a damn week, and I'm still the 500,000th best streamer.
Is there a way to check that? I'm sure I'm not on it.
If you check Twitch tracker, because like I'm in the top 7% of Twitch. I don't feel like that, but apparently I am, which is wild. I'm not trying to look at me Louis myself either. I'm just trying to make the point.
Let's see. I have nothing.
Let's see.
Let's see. What am I looking at for? Oh, my rank. I'm 472,590.
Yeah. See, there you go. Like that's my point.
So,
like that's cool. The point. But I'm saying like that's the point I'm trying to make is like realistically, if you have fun and you show and that's what you show. You're going to do well, at least to a certain degree. Like, is it easy to stream? God, no.
Yeah.
Is it easy to stream? No, it's not. I'm not saying it's hard. It's not easy to stream. It's not.
I'll say this. I was the other day, what was that? Yesterday, actually, as of this recording on Thursday. I honestly... So, because I didn't stream on Wednesday because I had a dentist appointment, and then it would have just pushed my schedule around too much to even try. But on Thursday, I decided to do my normal Valheim Wednesday stream on Thursday. And when I was initially like trying to comprehend streaming, I was thinking, I don't know, do I really want to get on? Like, I could have just been like, nah, I'm just not going to. But then I was like, might as well. I'm gonna play video games either way. And so did the stream went all right. I actually averaged more viewers than I normally do, and I had fun in the chat, and I told my wife afterwards, like, but the biggest thing was I had fun playing Valheim. It was just it was good times. That's one of my favorite games, and so I told my wife afterwards, I was like, it's funny because I went into that stream thinking, do I really want to stream right now? But then I came out the other end like, that was fun. It was a good night. So that really helps with the streaming is when you get to the end of it, you're like, oh, good.
As much as like I say like it's a double-edged sword, I will say this, it's probably I think really it comes down to like I said, I'm not really in a community anymore.
But I think that's also kind of a way to survive. Like, I think certain people need a community so they can build their following or whatever. But I think ultimately, like, the healthiest and easiest way to avoid toxic, stuff on Twitch is to just say, you know what? It's just I'm gonna keep myself insulated and play games I enjoy. And when people follow that, then that's what I'll get.
Yeah, I think something that happens a lot is. Like I said this before to somebody else was like getting lost in like the noise of everything where it's where I like one of the things like for like me right now is the only thing I have left ultimately is like going to partner. Like, I'm never gonna do partner and like get out of here with that nonsense. But like people who do partner pushes and all this stuff, and it's like, and every time I see, I'm like, is that really worth it? You putting like you trying so hard for it for like a stupid, like ultimately at the end of the day, a stupid check mark, right?
Yeah.
And like like when all like last summer I kind of got stuck in that nonsense, but I got out of it like pretty quickly. But like looking at some of the people, like there are people who like steamrolled their way through to partner like really quick, who aren't like big streamers by any stretch of the imagination. But it's just like, what's the point? Like at that point, I don't know. Like my mindset's weird. I don't look at this as like the end all be all. Like one day this camera is going to turn off and it's never going to come back on. I know that. I'm 30. Yeah, like I'm 30. Like
I mean, don't let your age get you. No. He's 30.
No. But my point being is like I'm 30. Like unlike Bryce, I'm very much single and all that stuff. There's other things like I want to do career wise, personally, all that stuff. Sure. And at some point, this is gonna end. Like, is it gonna be tomorrow? No. Is it gonna be next week? Probably not. But at some point, it's just gonna end because like there's a lot. Like there's, believe it or not, there's a world out there.
I think what I've said is, I will never expect this to become a full-time job. If it did, if I had like somehow like something happened and I had like this huge groundswell of followers and subscribers and all of a sudden I'm making like a real heavy income from it, then that'd be great. I'd gladly do streaming full time.
The funny thing is I have the number. I have a number written down.
I'm not gonna expect it at any time.
I wrote down a number. And if I ever hit that number of subs like reoccurring, I'd go full time. But I'm never gonna hit that number. But I know the number.
You know the number.
I know the number. I know the specific number. Well, I should say I know the specific number to keep the lights on. I don't know the number to like afford everything. But I know like the base number I need to have.
I know what schedule I'd keep if I was to do full-time streaming, but
I would just do no joke. I would stream if it was like, if I was like DGR. I would do. I would probably start at 9, do 9 to like 12:30. Take like treat like a normal job. Like do like 9 to like noon or something. Like 9 to noon, 9 to 1. Like I would probably just do 2 4-hour stream sessions. Do one in the morning. Do like one in the night.
I definitely do 3 or 4 days of streaming. Live, and then probably 4 days of streaming live during the week, and then I would be doing constant recordings for YouTube and like different things to get other passive income going as well as Twitch. But we talk about this, I don't think it's ever going to happen for me. I'm just going to work towards affiliate, and then whatever happens from there.
Hey man,
I feel like there is kind of like this thing with Twitch has where like once you are an affiliate, you're a little bit more visible.
Hey man, $50 is $50 of passive income is $50 of passive income. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
There is no greater feeling than buying a game and then having that game pays for itself. It's happened to me. Like Pokemon pays for itself, so kudos. The show hasn't, but it will. Like it happens, but I don't play a lot of video games.
So,
saying.
Oh yeah.
All right, I think we've talked long enough. This is a long one. It's almost 1:20, and I know I want to play the show before I go to bed. And I'm sure you want to watch TV and do something. So
I might play some Halo 2 tonight. It depends. Not Halo 2, but Halo Infinite as well.
All right, so go check out Bryce. He doesn't make YouTube videos anymore because he's too lazy to edit. Check him out on Twitch.
I'm gonna try to edit tomorrow. So
Go check him out on
But
Twitch.
I'm mostly on Twitch. I put so much effort into
Go
that
check him
now.
out on Twitch. I think he said he's streaming. Okay, see if I know his schedule now. Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. He streams 2 days of those of Mario Maker. 1 day is Valheim. Saturday is, for now, Terraria. So go check him out later today, possibly, if you're depending on when you're watching this. He streams in Mountain Time, but I'm at work, so I'm usually not in this chat as much as I can be. But go check him out. It's a fun time. It's a blasty blast. He is family friendly, unlike me, the little sinner I am.
I mean, my stream is now marked for mature audiences, but that's mostly because if you guys want to curse in chat, then
you know what's funny
I'm not gonna
is
stop
I
it.
did that when I first started streaming, and somebody's like, "Why'd you do that?" I'm like, "Cause protect my own rear end, because I don't trust these degenerates."
Yeah,
and every once in a while I say curse words.
I don't. But
I do agree.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want like something in chat to be like blowing.
Well, it's
up
not even
and then
like the whole thing. My thought process is like, it's not even chat. Is like me. I'm playing Resident Evil. Like that's a more mature game. Like if you wanted to stream, like if you and I played Halo, like technically Halo's an M-rated game. Like
that's true. Yeah.
Like it's not the bloodiest game in the world, but it's still an M game. My point, whatever. It's a good protection. But nevertheless, I will be uploading a lot in the next few days. There's at least gonna be one video, I think, all next week. I don't know the schedule offhand, but I want to say it's all next week. There'll be a video unless I forget. But I can bulk record too. So there should be a video out, I think, all week next week. I don't think the Angels have an off day next week. So
that's gonna be fun.
Those are gonna be hell. But yeah, so there will be a video probably every day next week, I think, or at least 6 out of 7. So
fun times.
Yeah. So
check out Spects' YouTube.
That's Spects on YouTube. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So that's going on for me. Have yourself a good rest of your week. Check him out live. Check me out on the tubes. But until next time, have yourselves a good one. Be nice to each other. All that fun stuff. And we'll see you guys all next time.
See you guys.